right, today I want to talk about why you should not sell your Bitcoin during a dip. In case you are unaware, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high this week at just over 108,000 before crashing down to about 93, a little under that, just a few days ago, and we've since rebounded to about 97 and a half thousand US dollars per coin. And of course, this was a pretty broad, quick sell-off. This was not just related to cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin. This was, the stock market saw a big drop. I think S&P fell 3% in one day. Basically, what happened is the Federal Reserve Chair came out and said that they did their rate cut as they thought, but they are going to do less next year, which is everyone worried that inflation is going to be around for longer. Surprise, in case you didn't know. Of course, that was inevitable. The reason people sold off is because they're scared. They think that prices could go lower for assets. And of course, we've seen such a sharp rebound since bottoming out, at least for now. We'll see what ends up happening. But if you zoom out, of course, and look at the month, we're sitting pretty nicely. And obviously, over the past 6 months, you're up very much so if you just bought and held Bitcoin. If you bought it here at 68,000 on July 29th, and a week later it crashed down to 54, you shouldn't have sold it. You should just bought more Bitcoin at a lower price. It's on sale. Nothing is fundamentally different with Bitcoin at this level than this. And there's still a block being produced every 10 minutes. You can still send or receive Bitcoin to anyone at any time with no approval needed. And the lower the price, the higher the value. In this case, let's look at year to date. Selling during any of these so-called dips would just get you wrecked in the long run. It seems like a pretty smart, trade. 71. It's still up here because you think it's going to go down, but it might not go down. You know, there's people who saw this zigzag pattern and started shorting it here and here because it was just bouncing up and down this level for almost a year. I think that Meet Kevin guy did that. He set up a big short for Bitcoin right here about 6 months after the halving for some reason, thinking it's just going to crash. And obviously, he got completely destroyed by that trade. And people let their ego get in the way. Honestly, this chart is a winning chart. Get your cart attached to the train that's winning. And it's not difficult. All you really have to do is buy and hold Bitcoin if you believe that its value will go up over time. And why wouldn't it? ABC News, Bitcoin price falls more than 10%. They don't say this is, Bitcoin just hit $108,000. All right, they say after record highs earlier this week. After topping $108,000 for the first time on Tuesday, Bitcoin fell below 93, settling around 95, a little bit higher now, I think. Was it 97? Yep. And you don't sell your Bitcoin because these price movements happen so quickly, even if you wanted to be cute and trade. This happened just really in a matter of minutes. You can even watch the 1 minute chart when stuff like this happens. I remember during 2022 when FTX was collapsing, I had the 1 minute chart up and I was just watching these $1,000 candles. And we see them now, but $1,000 candles is a lot bigger when Bitcoin's 20,000 bucks. Bitcoin falls $1,000. That's what, a 5% drop. It falls 2%, or sorry, $2,000, a 10% drop. So you should get used to it now. And just don't trade this stuff. Just hold it forever. Trump reaffirms support for U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. And you're going to sell Bitcoin because they say there's more inflation? I mean, isn't that more of a reason to have inflation? There's inflation in the Bitcoin price, not the supply. You can see the price goes up and down, generally up. Do you want your money doing this, or do you want your money just printed out of thin air? Speaking of all-time highs, the name of the game is just buy and hold. You're going to outperform everybody in the market, and you're not going to have to do as much thinking, really. And people just don't want to believe this. People in finance don't want to believe that there's a better way than buying stocks and real estate. Their egos are too big, their heads are too big, their brains are too small. Look at this. Money supply, total amount of Bitcoin issued so far is 19.8 million. We have about 116 years to get this last 1.2 million. And you have people like sailors scooping up Bitcoin every single week by the billions of dollars. You have people like me buying Bitcoin every single day. And this chart I found on whatsinthespecies.com is pretty good illustration of this. You can see the orange is the Bitcoin subsidy. This is the block reward. Started in 2008 or 9 at 50. 4 years later in 2012, this dropped, of course, half to 25, 12. It's really wild to see this visual, though. I think I'm a pretty visual learner. You don't sell your Bitcoin because, you know, this 50 here didn't seem like much because its dollar value wasn't a lot. But all these people had to do once they got it was nothing. They should have held it. They could have forgotten about it. Same with here, 25 Bitcoin. I mean, how much? That's what, $2.5 million right now. It's just wild. And you can see here, 2024 halving. We're here, so we're actually probably more like here. So we were at 6.25, and now 3.125 is the reward. And yeah, it's smaller than we've seen in the past, but look how big it is compared to this. This rate is constant. These are all just 50% drops. I mean, obviously, but looking at this, you can't even see what the block reward will be. I mean, we can look up the block reward, but let's actually do that real quick. You don't sell all right, well, let's just do some math. 3.125 is where we're at now. 2028, about 1.5. 2032, less than 1. 2036. How much is this going to be worth in 12 years? Are you going to sell that? Are you going to sell an entire block reward if you're fortunate enough to have this much Bitcoin now? I'll do you one better. Shit. $20.40. And of course, this number will just keep going in half. 2044 will be around 0.1. 2040 will be 0.05. And people don't understand this. People don't understand what these exponential changes in the supply over time mean. They don't understand what a limited supply means. This is what a limited supply means if demand remains constant or grows, and we're still at the point where the block rewards are falling, pretty dramatically, at least how it looks here in number of Bitcoin. And yeah, just wanted to give an update on why you shouldn't sell. People are going to keep accumulating Bitcoin no matter what because it's the best money, and you are missing out. You're making a mistake by selling it. Of course, if it's an emergency, that's fine. But most people's mistake with Bitcoin, apart from not buying it, is selling it. Anyone who sold Bitcoin anywhere here probably regrets it. Maybe they improved their life, maybe that's fine. Maybe they did something they wanted to do, like pay off their house or buy a car or something. But looking at this price probably hurts. Probably hurts more than people who never bought it because they see the price now and think, wow, there were people that were selling at $15,000. And, we could just keep going up from here, really. There's no reason we can't. And no matter how much demand goes into Bitcoin, the supply is not changing. So the price has to adjust upward for that. If you guys like this video, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you.